Archangel Michael says, "I'm begging you to open this immediately. Something shocking is going to happen in your house tonight and you must be ready." What I am about to share is not meant to frighten you, but to awaken something within you. There are moments in life where heaven leans in closer than usual, when the stillness of your home may carry a presence that is not of this world, and your heart begins to feel a stirring too deep for words. Tonight may be one of those moments, when the hands of God touch the corners of your life in ways you did not expect. So take this seriously, not out of fear, but out of love. Let your soul open, let your faith rise, and let your heart remember the one who watches over you. Type Amen if you believe. There are quiet whispers that echo from heaven when the world seems too loud, and in those whispers, God often sends His angels, His messengers of light, with words of comfort and protection. Tonight, as your house settles into silence, something divine may stir. The very walls around you, the air you breathe, the warmth that fills the rooms, they might hold a sacred stillness, a holy presence passing through. It could be a moment of breakthrough, a healing long prayed for, a burden lifted without explanation, or a peace that settles deep into your bones when you least expect it. This isn't about superstition or fear. It's about faith. Faith in the God who never leaves you, even when the night feels heavy and long. Faith in Jesus Christ, whose mercy does not slumber and whose love never forgets your name. If you have been praying, if you have been crying, if you have been holding on to hope with trembling hands, know this: heaven has heard you. Sometimes, when we are closest to breaking, God is closest to acting. There are things we cannot see with our eyes, but our spirit knows when something is near. A presence. A shift. A miracle pressing against the veil. Tonight, don't miss it. Don't rush through the hours or drown out the silence with noise. Make space. Light a candle if you want to. Whisper a prayer, even if it's just a whisper of, "Jesus, I trust you." Let your heart be found open when the heavens open over your life. Every soul has a story, and every story has nights like this, where the weight of life and the promise of eternity meet in a holy tension. Maybe something will shift in your family. Maybe forgiveness will find its way back into hearts that have grown cold. Maybe a dream you buried long ago will breathe again. Or maybe tonight, God will simply sit with you in your quiet room, letting His presence wrap around you like the softest blanket. God never comes late, and His miracles don't need fireworks to be real. Sometimes, they happen quietly in kitchens, bedrooms, and living rooms, where tears fall and hearts whisper, "Help me, Lord." And that's all it takes. A whisper. A reaching. A surrender. That's when heaven moves. That's when Jesus walks in. Type 1111 if you trust in God. So let tonight be a sacred pause. Let it be a moment where you choose faith over fear. Don't be afraid if you feel something unusual, warmth in your chest, a calm in the air, a feeling of being seen and loved beyond measure. That is not something to fear. That is Jesus reminding you that He is still near. That is God whispering, "I have not forgotten you." What if the fastest path to wealth was already inside your mind, waiting to be activated by a powerful sound wave? Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it begins drawing opportunities, success, and financial freedom like never before. Imagine the relief of no more bills and the joy of living your dreams. This is more than an offer, it is a divine turning point. Your destiny is waiting, but only if you choose to move now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on this ancient brainwave today. Maybe you've been through a storm that wore your spirit down. Maybe your home has felt more like a battlefield than a place of peace. Maybe your heart is carrying grief that words can't explain. I want you to know that even in all of this, God is not absent. He's near to the broken-hearted. He is a healer, a redeemer, a friend who never walks away when things get messy. Your home is not forgotten. Your family is not forsaken. Your life still matters deeply to the one who formed it. Tonight may not change everything around you, but it might just change everything within you. And that, dear one, is where the true miracle begins. When hearts soften. When faith returns. When Jesus finds a resting place inside a weary soul. These are the holy moments that shift the very atmosphere of a home. So rest gently tonight. Don't be afraid of the unknown. Be expectant. Be still. And know that the God of all creation knows your address. He knows your pain. He knows your prayers. And He's closer than the breath in your lungs. He may send His angels, He may speak in dreams, or He may simply give you peace like a river in the middle of the night. However He chooses to move, trust that He is good. Trust that He is with you. And trust that you don't have to be ready with answers, just ready with your heart. Let this be a night of holy expectancy. Let the miracle begin in the quiet, in the ordinary, in the place you call home. Because sometimes, the most shocking thing that happens isn't something that shakes your house, but something that changes your heart forever. When God moves, He often does so in quiet ways, through the gentle turning of hearts, the breaking of burdens, the rekindling of hope. Tonight is not about fear or dread, it is about preparation, about choosing to be ready for whatever good the Lord has planned for your life, even if it comes wrapped in mystery. Type 222 if you believe tonight is your turning point. There is something sacred about a home when it becomes more than just walls and furniture. When it becomes a place where prayers rise like incense, where forgiveness is whispered in soft voices, where grace is poured out like water, and where the love of Jesus fills the corners like sunlight through a window. That kind of home, however small, however broken, becomes holy ground. And sometimes, the Lord chooses holy ground to do His most tender work. When you welcome Him, truly welcome Him, He doesn't always come with fanfare. Often, He comes gently, like a soft knock on your heart, or the sudden sense that you are not alone, even when you're by yourself. His presence fills rooms with warmth, and His Spirit stirs in the stillness, inviting you to lay your pain down, to breathe again, to believe again. So if your heart has been heavy, if you've been carrying silent sorrow, or walking through shadows no one else sees, know this: Jesus sees you. He has seen every tear that has fallen behind closed doors. He has felt every ache, every moment when you forced a smile while your heart silently pleaded for relief. You are not forgotten. The Lord has not overlooked your suffering. He does not rush past the homes that look ordinary. In fact, He draws near to them. Maybe this is the night something will change inside of you. Maybe not in thunder or shaking walls, but in the way your heart opens to Him again, in the way you find peace where there was panic, light where there was despair. He wants to sit with you in the quiet. He wants to remind you that He came for people just like you, those who feel weary, misunderstood, overlooked. He came for the hurting, the humble, the hungry in spirit. He's not waiting for you to fix everything. He's simply waiting for you to open the door. Let Him into your fears. Let Him walk into the pain you've tried so hard to hide. Jesus doesn't need a perfect home to enter, He only needs a willing heart. He's never been scared of broken places. In fact, that's where His love shines the brightest. Type 555 if you believe Jesus can restore your peace tonight. You see, the world teaches us to run faster, to hide our wounds, to pretend we're fine. But God is not fooled by masks. He sees the truth of who you are, and He loves you still. He doesn't come to condemn you. He comes to lift the shame from your shoulders. He comes to whisper that you're still His, even if you've drifted far. His arms are always open. His love doesn't keep records of wrongs. He just wants you home. If your home has been filled with tension, if arguments have left invisible bruises on the hearts of those you love, invite God into that space. His peace is not weak, it's strong enough to break cycles, to soften hard hearts, to restore what feels beyond repair. Don't underestimate what can happen when you surrender your home to Him. Even now, as you read these words, heaven is drawing near. Not to punish, not to frighten, but to remind you that nothing is too far gone. You are not alone in the waiting. The angels of God are not idle, they surround those who cry out to Him. They stand watch over homes, over children, over marriages. They war in the unseen, not with swords of this world, but with divine strength. When you pray, even with trembling lips, heaven responds. When you call on the name of Jesus, every shadow must flee. This is not fiction. This is faith in action. Tonight might look ordinary from the outside. But God has a way of choosing ordinary nights to do extraordinary things. He may restore a relationship that seemed finished. He may bring comfort where only grief lived. He may speak to your heart in a way that reminds you of who you truly are, beloved, chosen, held. Or maybe, just maybe, He'll awaken a purpose you forgot you had. All you need to do is believe. Even if your belief feels small, it's enough. Jesus once said that even faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. And tonight, your mountain may begin to shift. Not because of how strong you are, but because of how faithful He is. That's the beauty of grace, it never depended on you being perfect. It's always been about Him being present. So light a candle, or simply sit in stillness. Whisper His name, and let your soul be still enough to listen. Let tonight be a doorway, not to fear, but to something holy. You don't have to figure out how the miracle will happen. Just be open to the idea that God is still in the business of moving in homes like yours. This might be the moment the weight you've carried breaks off. This might be the night you sleep in peace for the first time in a long time. Or it could be the beginning of a new season, where your home becomes not just a shelter from the world, but a sanctuary filled with the presence of the one who saves. Rest tonight knowing that the Lord who walked on water, who healed the sick, who raised the dead, he has not changed. He still walks into homes, into lives, into hearts. And he still whispers, "Peace be still." That peace is for you now. It's closer than you think. Let him in. Let the miracle begin. Let Jesus find you where you are, and bring you where you've never dared to go. Maybe it's been a long time since you truly felt close to God. Maybe you've been walking through your days trying to hold everything together while something deep within you quietly unravels. I am here to tell you that you are not alone, not forgotten, and not without hope. Type 1212 if you walk by faith, not by sight. After decades in government lockdown, a short 9-word phrase has resurfaced, and those who whisper it daily are experiencing miracles of money and freedom. Researchers say it switches on a hidden abundance circuit in the brain, the same one billionaires unknowingly rely on. It's easy, fast, and astonishingly powerful. Click the link before this rare discovery is censored again. God often moves in moments we least expect, and he sometimes visits the places that feel the most broken. Your home may have known laughter and joy, but it may also hold the echoes of silence, of words not spoken, of dreams not fulfilled. And yet, that is exactly where the Lord loves to work, within the ordinary spaces, the dim corners, and the quiet places where hearts ache and long for peace. Do not underestimate what this night could hold. You may think nothing is different, that it's just another evening, but heaven knows the exact moment your heart is most open, and when your soul is most ready to be touched. The Lord has waited patiently, not because he is distant, but because he refuses to force his way in. He waits for your invitation, your whisper, your surrender. Tonight may be one of those rare moments where heaven bends low, when the distance between earth and eternity feels just a breath away. You may feel a warmth that makes no sense, a memory that resurfaces out of nowhere, a tear you didn't know was waiting to fall. These are not coincidences, they are signs that something holy is moving through your space. Jesus never needed a temple to perform a miracle. He walked into homes, into fields, into the middle of storms. And he is still doing the same today. He does not require perfection, he only asks for openness. And when you say, "Lord, I'm here," he responds with all the tenderness of a friend who has never left your side. If tonight brings a gentle stirring to your spirit, do not turn away. Lean into it. Let yourself believe, even if just for a moment, that you are not too far gone, not too tired, not too broken. Let the love of Christ wash over you like a healing rain. Let it settle into the dry soil of your soul and awaken something beautiful. Type 777 if you believe God still performs miracles in silence. We often imagine divine encounters as loud, bright, and dramatic. But more often, God moves like the wind, unseen but deeply felt. He shows up in the smallest moments, in the stillness before sleep, in the flicker of hope that rises out of nowhere, in the peace that makes no sense in the middle of chaos. These are the signs that Jesus is near, that the presence of God has entered your home, not to overwhelm, but to renew. There are angels assigned to those who belong to God. And they do not grow weary. They protect, they intercede, they walk through rooms unseen, guarding what matters most to the Lord. If you have prayed for protection, for restoration, for peace, you can be sure that heaven has heard you. There is a reason you are reading this now. There is a reason your heart is stirring. This is not random. This is a divine appointment. If your home has felt heavy, spiritually, emotionally, or even physically, tonight is an opportunity to invite the light of Christ to pierce through the darkness. Not through loud declarations or grand rituals, but through quiet trust. Whisper His name. Say it softly, with meaning. Jesus. That name alone carries healing, peace, strength, and mercy. There is power in that name. There is safety in that name. Whatever is coming tonight, be it a healing, a breakthrough, a renewed sense of purpose, it is coming with the love of a God who knows you completely. He sees the parts of you you've hidden from the world. He knows what you fear, what you grieve, what you hope for. And He's not asking you to have it all figured out. He's simply asking you to let Him in. Let Him into your doubt. Let Him into your grief. Let Him into the parts of your life that feel unfinished, unresolved, or unbearable. When Jesus enters a place, He doesn't come to judge. He comes to bring life. He comes to heal what no one else can. And tonight, He may be walking through your door in ways you never imagined. Sometimes, the greatest miracle isn't that the storm stops, but that your heart becomes still in the middle of it. That stillness, that holy peace, is a gift. It doesn't mean everything is perfect. It means you are held. It means you are seen. It means the Lord is in your house, and He is not going anywhere. So rest. Let the Holy Spirit breathe new life into your home tonight. Whether you feel anything or not, know that something is being set into motion. Trust that God moves beyond feelings, beyond what you see, and that your faith, your quiet, trusting faith, is enough to invite miracles. Let this night be marked as the beginning of something beautiful. Maybe the shock isn't a tragedy to brace for, but a wonder to be open to. Maybe what's about to happen is the answer to prayers you forgot you prayed. Maybe this is the night you begin again, not with fanfare, but with a whisper from heaven saying, "You are not alone. I am here. You are mine." Jesus does not miss a single moment of your story. He doesn't overlook any part of your journey. And tonight, He is reminding you that there is still more. More healing. More peace. More joy. More life. Not in some distant future, but beginning here, now, in the quiet of your home. You were not created to live numb, to drift through life in a fog of fear and unanswered questions. You were made to live close to God, to feel the warmth of His nearness even when the world grows cold. Tonight may be a holy invitation for your heart to return to the one who never stopped waiting for you. Type 1919 to receive miracles if your heart is ready for God's touch. A secret 9-word prayer, once classified under a forgotten program, is now reshaping lives across the globe. People are seeing unexpected deposits, financial breakthroughs, and emotional peace within days of using it. Scientists confirm it rewires the subconscious to attract prosperity naturally. It takes seconds, but the results can last a lifetime. Don't delay. click the link before it disappears. There are moments in life when God allows time to slow, even just for a breath, to call your attention to something eternal. It could be a gentle stillness that settles over your home like a blanket. It could be a memory that brings tears to your eyes for reasons you can't explain. Or it might be the overwhelming sense that you're not walking through your pain alone. These aren't random, they are heaven's whispers, inviting you to listen, to look deeper, and to respond. You might be tired, carrying the weight of things that no one else fully understands. Maybe you've been holding up your household with quiet prayers, whispered at the edge of your bed when the world was asleep. Or maybe you've grown silent, weary from disappointments that made you wonder if God still hears you. I want to remind you that He does. Not only does He hear, but He stores every single prayer you've prayed, every cry that escaped your lips when you thought no one was listening. The Lord is close tonight, and He is not coming to test you, He is coming to remind you that you are His. You don't need to earn His presence. You don't have to clean up your life or pretend to be stronger than you are. He is drawn to your honesty, your brokenness, your surrender. He is drawn to homes that call on Him in quiet desperation. When Jesus enters a space, He does not look for polished perfection. He looks for hearts that are willing. So if you felt lost, unseen, or unsure of where your faith has gone, tonight may be a doorway. A doorway back to trust, back to peace, back to the arms of a Savior who still chooses you, even on your worst days. Sometimes, we expect God to answer with thunder, but instead, He answers with stillness. Sometimes we wait for a loud miracle and miss the quiet one that happened deep inside us when we felt hope again for the first time in a long time. God can do something tonight that doesn't look like a miracle to the world, but feels like healing to your soul. He may bring your family back together one conversation at a time. He may lift the heaviness off your chest just enough so you can breathe again. He may guide you through a dream, or stir your heart with a sense of peace that cannot be explained. That's how Jesus moves, gently, powerfully, personally. Type 666 if you trust Jesus to walk through your home tonight. Even if the world tells you to ignore your faith, to look for comfort in temporary things, there is a part of you that knows only God can truly fill the ache inside. You were created with a longing that nothing else can satisfy, not success, not people, not even answers. Only the presence of God can restore what has been worn thin in your life. And His presence is not far away. It's here, knocking softly at the door of your heart. Will you let Him in tonight? You don't have to make sense of it all. You don't need the perfect words or some grand prayer. Just an open heart. Just a moment of honesty where you let Him see the parts of you that you've been hiding. His love doesn't shrink back from your mess, it leans in. It reaches deeper. It wraps around you and calls you beloved, even when you feel like a burden. If your home has been filled with stress, noise, or emptiness, Jesus can bring peace that changes the atmosphere. His peace does not need circumstances to change first. It comes in the middle of the chaos and whispers, "I am with you." And where He is, fear loses its grip. Darkness cannot stay. Healing begins. Maybe tonight, something in your spirit will wake up again. Maybe you'll remember what it feels like to believe, not because everything is perfect, but because you feel Him drawing near. Maybe you'll speak his name out loud for the first time in a while, and feel a wave of comfort flood your soul. That is not your imagination. That is your Savior. And even if tonight feels quiet, know this: God is still working. Seeds planted in faith do not always sprout overnight, but they do grow. Every prayer you whisper is like a seed placed in holy soil. God is faithful to water it, to tend it, and to bring it into bloom in His perfect time. There is something beautiful about a heart that chooses to hope again. That refuses to give up. That chooses to open the door to Jesus, even when it's afraid. If that's you tonight, I want you to know that heaven sees you. The angels rejoice over your faith. And your home becomes sacred ground when you welcome the Lord inside. You don't have to face another night alone. You don't have to carry everything on your own. There is a love that is bigger than your shame, a grace that is deeper than your fear, and a hope that cannot be shaken. That love has a name. That name is Jesus. And He is closer than your next breath. So as the night comes and your home settles into stillness, remember this: you are being held. You are being watched over. And whatever is coming tonight, God is already in it. Whatever tries to shake you, heaven will stand against it. Whatever wounds still ache inside you, Jesus is already healing them. He walks the halls of your home even now. He sits beside you in the silence. And He whispers gently, "I have not forgotten you. I never will." What if 7 minutes could rewrite your financial future forever? This hidden frequency, backed by neuroscience, flips the brain's natural wealth switch, unleashing unstoppable prosperity. People are calling it the money magnet sound, and it's already transforming lives. But hesitation means missing out while others move ahead. This is your moment to act. Click the link in the video description and comments below to awaken the wealth inside you today before the chance slips away. Some come like a wave of peace so deep it stops your racing thoughts. Some come in the form of a truth you've needed to hear for a long time, that God has never, not for a single second, let you walk through your life alone. And tonight, something is moving, unseen, holy, and full of love, for you, for your family, for your home. Type "yes" to affirm that you are open to God's presence tonight. When we speak of God's timing, we often imagine Him acting in grand ways, splitting seas, shaking mountains, sending signs in the sky. But the truth is, His greatest work is often done in quiet places, like your living room, your hallway, your child's bedroom, your kitchen sink where tears have fallen silently during moments of exhaustion. That's where He moves best, in the hidden places of our everyday lives where our deepest battles are fought. You may not see it with your eyes, but something sacred happens when you surrender even a little of your day, your heart, your space to God. It doesn't take a perfect prayer or an hour of worship. It takes honesty. A whisper from your soul. A turning of your heart that says, "God, I can't do this without you anymore." And that is enough to open the gates of heaven wide. That is enough to stir angels to action. That is enough to welcome Jesus right into the middle of whatever you are going through tonight. Maybe it's been a hard week. Maybe your family is walking through a silent storm, disconnection, stress, tension you can't find the words for. Maybe it's a financial struggle that's eating away at your peace. Or maybe it's loneliness, the kind that stays even when the house is full of noise. Whatever it is, it matters to God. And tonight, He's not asking you to pretend it doesn't hurt. He's inviting you to let Him hold what you no longer can. There's a reason you were drawn to these words right now. This is not chance. This is not by accident. Something is being stirred in the spirit, and your soul recognized the call. That quiet tug in your chest, that little breath of hope rising up again, that's the work of the Lord. That's the sound of your spirit remembering where it belongs. Jesus doesn't need your strength tonight. He just wants your surrender. He doesn't want you to fix yourself, He wants you to fall into His arms. That's what love looks like. That's what mercy sounds like. And that's what's waiting for you right now. Type 333 if you believe God is bigger than the storm in your house. Tonight, I urge you to be still. Not in body, necessarily, but in spirit. You don't need to run from room to room trying to hold everything together. You don't need to figure it all out before bed. You just need to pause, take a deep breath, and invite God to take over. He will not come in forcefully. He will not demand control. But if you open your heart, even a little, He will come with gentleness, with patience, and with power that heals instead of harms. Let your home be a place where the Spirit of God is welcome. Speak His name in the silence. Let His peace pour into the cracks of your foundation. Even if your home has seen more anger than laughter lately, even if the walls have carried more worry than worship, there is still time. There is still grace. God can change the atmosphere in a moment, and He doesn't need perfect conditions to begin. If you've been waiting for a sign, for some kind of confirmation that God still sees you, consider this message your answer. This is not just another piece of writing. It is a voice sent to remind you that heaven has not forgotten your name. It is a message written in love, carried by faith, meant to land in your heart at just the right time. And this is that time. Tonight may not look miraculous to anyone else, but what matters is what's happening inside you. That quiet stirring, that little flame of hope reigniting, don't ignore it. That is the spark of the Holy Spirit breathing fresh life into your soul. That is Jesus walking through your house, touching the places you thought were too broken to be restored. He's not just coming to visit. He's coming to stay, if you let Him. Your home can become a sanctuary. Not by changing the furniture or painting the walls, but by inviting the presence of God into every moment. Let Him be there when you're doing the dishes. Let Him be near as you fold laundry, read to your children, or sit alone with your thoughts. His Spirit is not limited by location. It fills the space where it is welcomed, and it brings light where there once was fear. Tonight, take just a moment to sit quietly and acknowledge Him. You don't need to speak perfectly. You just need to be sincere. Say His name. Tell Him your worries. Hand Him your sorrow. And then wait, just a little, and feel that warmth inside you. That is not imagination. That is love. That is the shock that may come tonight, not a tragedy, but a visitation. Not fear, but the overwhelming realization that God is still here, still near, still for you. So as the night deepens and everything quiets down, remember that you are never truly alone. Remember that your home is watched over. Remember that Jesus doesn't need everything to be perfect to begin a miracle. He just needs your heart to be open. Rest in that truth. Let your soul be held by it. And let tonight be the start of something different, something holy, something beautifully unexpected. Because when God enters a house, nothing stays the same. And tonight, He may be entering yours, not with noise or drama, but with quiet mercy, tender love, and a peace that will follow you long after the morning comes. It might come through a sudden peace that rests on your heart, or a memory that wraps around you like an old song. However it appears, know this: God does not enter your home to bring fear. He comes to bring healing, to mend what has been torn, and to breathe life into what has been withering. The truth is simple: you were created for abundance, yet a dormant brain signal has been holding you back. Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it pulls wealth into your life like never before. Others who pressed play once are already transformed, living the life they dreamed of. Do not hesitate or let regret steal this chance. Click the link in the video description and comments below to unlock your prosperity now. Type 444 if you feel something is about to change in your heart and your home. There's a certain kind of quiet that falls before God moves. Not the quiet of nothingness, but the quiet of preparation. The kind that happens when your soul knows something deeper is about to begin. Tonight may be that kind of quiet. You might feel a little more sensitive, more emotional, or more aware of the heaviness you've been carrying. That's not a sign of weakness, that's a sign that God is getting close. He's coming into the middle of your struggle, not to scold, but to comfort. Not to judge, but to lift you up and remind you of who you are in Him. You've made it through battles no one else knows about. You've walked through days where it felt like everything inside you was breaking, and you still got up the next morning. You've prayed prayers with tears, and you've kept going when your strength was nearly gone. And tonight, heaven sees that. God sees that. He's not overlooking the quiet faithfulness it took to survive. He is honoring it. The presence of Jesus doesn't always rush in with loud signs. Sometimes, He walks in gently, sits beside you without a word, and lets His peace do the talking. That kind of peace can change the air in a room. It can soften the hardest parts of your heart. It can calm the thoughts that keep racing late into the night. That peace is not imaginary, it is Him. If there's anything you've been hiding, anything you've been trying to carry alone, tonight is the night to lay it down. God is not shocked by your struggle. He isn't surprised by your pain. In fact, He's been waiting for you to bring it to Him. You were never meant to carry all of this alone. The love of Jesus was never about fixing yourself first. It was always about letting Him carry you when you couldn't carry yourself anymore. He is strong enough for your weakness. He is patient with your fears. He is tender with your pain. Type 1010 if you believe Jesus is coming to comfort your home tonight. If your heart has been hardened, if your faith has grown cold, if you've stopped praying because the silence felt too loud, tonight is your invitation to come back. Not to religion. Not to rules. But to the presence of God that never left you. He has been near all along, even when you couldn't feel him. Even when you thought you'd wandered too far, his eyes were still on you. His hands were still protecting you. And his love was still reaching for you. You are not too late. No matter what this day held, no matter how this week has weighed you down, you are still welcome at his feet. The home you live in can be a place of miracles, not because of what it looks like, but because of what God is doing inside it. When you invite Jesus in, you are not just inviting peace, you are welcoming power. Power to restore relationships. Power to heal memories. Power to speak life into situations that seem hopeless. Your house might not look like a sanctuary to the world, but if it is filled with faith, even faith the size of a mustard seed, it becomes holy ground. Heaven is drawn to that kind of space. Angels take watch in that kind of space. The Spirit of God moves freely in that kind of space. So even if your surroundings feel chaotic, even if you're surrounded by stress, noise, or emotional distance, you can still make room. You can light a candle. You can speak his name. You can sit in silence and say, "Lord, come in." That's all it takes. He doesn't need fanfare. He just needs your yes. Let him into your worries. Let him into your thoughts. Let him into your plans, your relationships, your ordinary daily routines. When God becomes the center of your home, everything begins to shift. Slowly, gently, powerfully. Peace becomes stronger than panic. Faith becomes louder than fear. Love becomes more powerful than pain. If there are things in your past you regret, if there are moments you wish you could erase, know this: God can redeem what you thought was lost forever. His grace does not expire. His mercy does not run out. He sees the parts of you you wish no one would see, and he still calls you his. What may be coming tonight isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to wake you up to how close he truly is. You might feel a wave of emotion for no reason. You might cry unexpectedly. You might find yourself thinking about the people you love with a tenderness that surprises you. These are not coincidences. They are little signs that something spiritual is touching your world. God's presence often stirs things inside us that we've buried. Old pain rises not to torment us, but to be healed. Forgotten dreams return not to tease us, but to remind us of who we really are. And love, real, deep, soul-cleansing love, begins to pour in where emptiness once lived. That's what Jesus brings. That's what this moment is all about. Tonight could be the beginning of the healing you've been needing. It could be the first step toward restoration you didn't think was possible. It could be the night you look back on and say, "That's when something changed in me." You are not waiting on a miracle. The miracle is waiting on your openness. Heaven is always ready. The question is, are you? This 9-word phrase was once buried under government secrecy, but now it's resurfacing, sparking a global wave of prosperity stories. Experts reveal it reactivates a money magnet section of your brain most people never use. Say it once daily and watch financial blocks vanish. But this page could vanish too. Click the link in the description and comments before it's gone. Let your answer be yes. Not because you have all the answers, but because you believe in the one who does. Not because you're strong, but because you trust the one who is. Tonight, as you rest, as you breathe, as you feel your way through this holy stillness, remember, God is here. Not in theory. Not in imagination. But truly, deeply, and personally. He does not need to crash through your door in lightning or fire. He often arrives in the stillness, in the gentle breath between your thoughts, in the peace that settles unexpectedly when everything else feels uncertain.